Have you noticed that some people seem to advance financially almost effortlessly, while others struggle their whole lives without getting anywhere? The truth is simple and brutal. It's not about luck, and it's definitely not about earning more money. It's about what you do every single day, with such consistency that your financial outcome becomes practically inevitable. In today's video, I'm going to show you the 10 daily steps that make it impossible to stay poor. Habits so powerful that when combined, they completely change anyone's financial trajectory. I've spent years studying the routines, choices, and behaviors of people who genuinely got wealthy, and there's a clear pattern that almost nobody notices. If you apply that pattern to your life, even starting from zero, your financial reality will change faster than you think. Most people believe poverty is simply a lack of money, but in reality, it starts much earlier, in the invisible, automatic, repetitive habits that shape every financial decision you make each day. It's like an autopilot working against you. You wake up, go to work, pay bills, try to save a little, and still feel like nothing changes. That cycle is not just exhausting, it creates the illusion that the situation is permanent, when in fact it's just a set of choices you were never taught to notice. What's striking is that these patterns begin early. Small impulse purchases, lack of planning, fear of checking your balance, postponing important decisions. These are quiet behaviors, mostly ignored, but they have a huge impact over the years. Meanwhile, people who thrive do the opposite. They act consciously, intentionally, and strategically, even when they don't have much money yet. The real problem isn't that you don't have opportunities, it's that you're surrounded by micro-habits that drain your energy, focus, and money without you noticing. And when those habits repeat every day, they create a financial reality that feels impossible to break. But here's the key point. Just as there's a set of behaviors that keeps you stuck, there's also a powerful set of steps that frees you. Those steps are practical, simple, and doable by anyone, in any situation. Now that you understand poverty isn't just a financial condition, but a set of repeated behaviors over time, it's important to be clear about what actually gets you out of that cycle. In today's video, we'll explore 10 daily steps, simple, highly practical actions that form the foundation of any wealth-building process. These steps range from inner shifts, like the mental trigger that changes your relationship with money, to concrete actions, like tracking every expense, automating your finances, and developing micro-habits that accelerate financial growth. You may have heard some of these before, but never in the structured way that produces real results. And now we'll dive deep into each step, starting with the most important one of all. Every financial transformation begins long before the first investment, before the first budget cut, and even before any practical strategy. It starts with an internal decision, a simple but powerful mental trigger, deciding that becoming wealthy is no longer a distant possibility, but a daily priority. This is the moment when you stop acting like someone who's trying to improve and start acting like someone who is intentionally building wealth. The human brain operates through filters. When you truly decide that you're going to build wealth, your brain begins to select opportunities, reduce distractions, and reinforce behaviors that used to go unnoticed. Small choices, like avoiding an unnecessary expense or studying for 10 minutes, stop feeling like sacrifices and start becoming part of your identity. And this step is so powerful because it reframes the most important question of your day. Instead of asking, "What do I need to do now?" you begin to ask, "What would a wealthy person do in this situation?" This simple shift automatically changes your actions, your focus, and your priorities. And once that decision is locked in, the next steps stop feeling difficult. They begin to naturally align with the person you're becoming. Now, let's move to the first practical action in this process. After deciding that building wealth will be a priority, the next step is to reinforce that decision every single day. And that begins with a simple, short, extremely powerful habit, dedicating 5 minutes a day to reprogram your financial mindset. This could mean reading a page of a book, reviewing a goal, writing down an idea, or watching a short educational clip. The point isn't volume, it's consistency.
These 5 minutes act as a daily reminder of your new financial identity. They keep your mind aligned with your goals and prevent you from being swallowed by the chaos of the day. And the interesting part is that over time, this habit naturally expands. What starts as 5 minutes of reading easily becomes 15. What starts as a small note can turn into a concrete plan. The key is not depending on motivation, but creating a ritual so short that it's impossible to skip. It's a minimal commitment that solidifies your mindset and prepares you for smarter decisions throughout the day. And once your mind is programmed to prosper, the next step is structuring your day the way wealthy people do. If there is one absolute pattern among people who've built wealth, it appears in the first hours of the day. Wealthy people don't wake up reacting to the world. They wake up controlling it. This is where the rule of the first 2 hours comes in. A simple system that transforms your focus, productivity, and especially your ability to make better financial decisions. In the first 2 hours after waking up, your brain operates at peak mental clarity. It's the ideal moment to think, plan, create, and adjust your financial path. Wealthy individuals use this time to organize numbers, review goals, plan action steps, study important concepts, and eliminate distractions. Meanwhile, most people start the day consuming random content, checking notifications, and instantly switch into survival mode. The rule works like this. The first hour is dedicated to growth, reading, studying, writing, reviewing goals, project planning. The second hour is dedicated to advancement, practical actions that bring you closer to your financial goals, such as learning about investments, analyzing expenses, creating something that generates income, or working on a personal project. And the secret is that this structure doesn't require money, tools, or advanced skills, only intention. When you control the first hours of your day, you control your life. And when you control your life, controlling your finances becomes a natural consequence. With your morning structured, the next step is taking full control of what comes in and what goes out of your pocket. It's almost impossible to talk about invisible wealth without touching on one of the most dangerous traps in the modern economy: lifestyle creep. And the reason this trap is so powerful is simple. It doesn't feel like a decision. It feels like something that just happens as life moves forward. But in reality, lifestyle creep is one of the most precise and damaging ways to sabotage your financial future without ever noticing it. Think back to when people get their first raise, bonus, or promotion. Almost instantly, something shifts. That old car that worked perfectly fine suddenly feels too old. The apartment that once felt comfortable now feels too small. The simple clothes they used to wear start to look too basic. And little by little, the cost of living quietly grows long before the income ever catches up. What makes lifestyle creep so dangerous is that it hides behind justifications. I work hard. I deserve this. It's just a small upgrade. Everyone else has one. These phrases are not just excuses, they're financial landmines disguised as self-care. But here's the invisible truth the wealthy understand. Your lifestyle is the biggest competitor to your future wealth. Not the market, not inflation, not taxes. Your lifestyle. Because once your lifestyle rises, it becomes almost impossible to bring it back down. Every upgrade becomes the new normal, and every normal becomes expensive to maintain. What once felt luxurious starts feeling average. And your savings? They disappear. Not because you don't earn enough, but because your lifestyle expands faster than your income. And as we move forward, this becomes even more critical, because lifestyle creep has evolved. It's no longer driven only by personal desires. It's driven by social pressure, social media, and the need to appear successful even when it means sacrificing real financial security. And this leads us directly to something even more dangerous: the new economy of appearances, where the focus is no longer on what you actually have, but on what you can make others believe you have.
If there's one true turning point between people who get rich and people who keep spinning in the same place, that turning point is financial automation. Wealthy people don't rely on willpower to invest, save, or organize their finances. They create systems that do the work for them every day, every week, every month, whether they're motivated or not. And here's the secret. Automation isn't about fancy technology. It's about creating a smart financial flow where you receive, separate, and direct your money before it ever has a chance to pass through your hands. The first rule of millionaire automation is simple. Pay yourself first automatically. This means setting up an automatic transfer to your investments the moment your paycheck hits. Not when possible, not when there's something left. Millionaires treat investing like an essential bill, never an option. The second rule is to eliminate friction. The easier it is to spend, the worse your finances get. The harder it is to touch invested money, the faster you get rich. That's why they separate accounts, use specific cards for categories, and keep everything segmented. Nothing gets mixed. The third rule is to protect the future. Basic bills, subscriptions, fixed expenses, everything that can be automated must be automated. This prevents late fees, stupid interest charges, and mental overload. Freeing your mind from these micro problems dramatically increases your ability to think strategically. And here's the most powerful part. Automation creates consistency, and consistency is the greatest wealth-building accelerator that exists. Even small automatic deposits outperform large every-once-in-a-while deposits. Millionaires don't trust motivation. They trust systems. And once you build these systems, even with a low income, you stop drifting and start moving toward wealth every single month without conscious effort. With your financial systems running on autopilot, the next step is mastering what actually multiplies your wealth. There's a brutal difference between people who learn to feel smart and people who learn to get rich. Millionaires don't study randomly. They follow a simple, powerful daily cycle that transforms knowledge into skill and skill into money. This cycle works because it breaks a pattern that keeps most people poor: the illusion of endless consumption, reading without applying, watching videos without practicing, collecting information while nothing changes in real life. A person feels productive but stays stuck. The financial elite does the opposite. They learn with intention and apply immediately. In the daily learning cycle, everything starts with 20 to 30 minutes of focused study. It's not binge-watching videos, it's choosing one topic, investing, sales, digital skills, business, or personal finance, and learning something specific that can have a direct impact on your life. Then comes the step almost no one does: immediate application. Learned about compound interest? Adjust your contributions. Learned about cutting expenses? Fix your budget today. Learned about extra income? Create a micro action right now, even if it's tiny. It's that quick action that turns knowledge into real results. The third stage is refinement. Millionaires review what worked, what didn't, and what needs adjusting. This constant review accelerates learning exponentially. While most people repeat the same mistakes for years, they fix them in days. The final stage of the cycle is sharing, with a friend, a colleague, a group, or simply by writing it down. When you explain what you learned, your brain locks in the information and identifies areas for improvement. Plus, sharing creates connections, and connections create financial opportunities. This daily cycle, done for 12 months, transforms anyone. It increases your income, sharpens your decisions, and opens doors that simply never appear for people who consume information passively. And now that you understand intentional learning, we reach the habit that truly separates people who move forward from people who stay stuck. If there's one simple, quick, and incredibly powerful habit to prevent poverty, it's this: a 30-second daily financial checkup. 30 seconds, less time than opening Instagram, but enough time to stop small leaks from destroying years of progress. The truth is, no one becomes poor from one big mistake. People become poor through many small mistakes repeated every day, unnoticed. It's the coffee you didn't plan, the subscription you forgot, the fee you accepted without thinking, the impulsive purchase that doesn't make a difference. A money leak never looks dangerous until it becomes an invisible pattern. The 30-second checkup works because it does 3 things at the same time. 1, it increases your financial awareness. Instead of being guided by impulse, you see exactly where your money is going. Awareness creates control, and control creates wealth.
2. It interrupts automatic behaviors that make you poorer. When you take 30 seconds to review your day, your mind identifies useless expenses before they become habits. 3. It builds a positive relationship with money. You stop seeing money as something chaotic and start seeing it as something under your command. And how do you do it? Simple. Every night before bed, quickly check your bank or card movements. Ask yourself, did I spend with intention or impulse today? If something slipped, correct it the next day. These micro corrections today prevent giant corrections later. And it's exactly this ability to adjust quickly that creates stability and prepares you for the habit that truly makes wealth inevitable.
We've reached the final pillar, the one that ties everything together and turns effort into inevitability. Because there's a massive difference between trying to get rich and becoming the kind of person who has no option but to get rich. This difference is built on a simple yet powerful tripod: visualize, measure, and adjust every single day. Visualization is the act of reminding yourself where you're going. Poor people think about today, the bills, the stress, the problems. Rich people think about the destination, the wealth they're building, the projects they're creating, the future they're designing. And this act of visualizing, even for just 1 minute, puts your mind in expansion mode, not survival mode. But visualizing without measuring is just fantasy. That's why the second step is to measure daily, even if it's simple. How much you saved, how much you invested, how much you produced, how much you learned. Measurement creates clarity. Clarity creates motivation. You can't improve what you don't measure, and those who don't measure don't build wealth. The third stage is adjustment. Every day, ask yourself, what can I improve by 1% tomorrow? Adjusting doesn't mean starting over. It's turning the wheel a few centimeters in the right direction. It's cutting one unnecessary expense. It's studying for 5 extra minutes. It's moving a little further on your income project. It's investing before you spend. This cycle, visualize, measure, and adjust, is what turns intention into destiny. It's what separates people who think about getting rich from those who actually do. And when you combine this with all the previous steps, you reach a point where poverty stops being a real possibility. Now that you understand the full process, it's time to reinforce why all of this works and why every day lost costs much more than you think. Now that you know each step, each habit, and each mechanism that makes it impossible to stay poor, it's time to talk about something even more important: why acting today changes everything and why waiting costs far more than it seems. Many people believe poverty and wealth are the result of luck, opportunities, or outside circumstances. But the truth is much simpler and more liberating. Your daily behavior determines your financial future. And here's the key reflection of this chapter. Every day you don't act is a day your investments could be growing, your knowledge could be compounding, your mindset could be shifting, and your habits could be elevating you. Financial progress is like pushing a stone at the beginning, heavy, slow, almost invisible. But when you keep going, the stone gains momentum, and once it gains momentum, it doesn't stop. This video is not just about money, it's about identity, about becoming the person you need to be to live the life you want to live. So reflect on this. Which of these steps will you apply tomorrow? Or better, today? Not all of them, just one. Because one habit applied every day is worth more than 100 habits written in a notebook you never use. Remember, it's not about how much you earn. It's not about where you live. It's about who you decide to become every single day. Consistency is what turns intention into wealth. And now that your mind is aligned, let's close this video strong with a call to action so you can continue this journey and truly transform your financial life. If you've made it this far, it already says something powerful about you. You genuinely want to change your financial life, and now is the perfect moment to take the next step. If these strategies made sense, if any part of this video opened your eyes or made you think differently, then I want to ask you just one thing. Engage with the content.
It sounds simple, but it makes all the difference in helping me continue to bring videos that truly shift your mindset and your relationship with money. So hit the like button. It helps YouTube show this video to more people. Comment below which habit you're going to start applying today. And of course, if you're not yet subscribed, click the button and join our community. Here, you'll find weekly videos on financial mindset, rich habits, income building, investing, and everything you need to take your financial life to the next level. You're building something big, and I want to walk this journey with you. Before we wrap up, I want you to take one final message with you. The journey to financial freedom doesn't start with money. It starts with a single step. And today, you've already taken that step. You don't need to change everything at once. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Wealth is built by ordinary people who chose to act in extraordinary ways every single day. Remember, every choice you make brings you closer or further from the life you want. And from now on, you already know which choices put you on the right path. So keep moving forward. Keep growing. Keep building your wealth, your mindset, and your independence. The future you want isn't far away. It's being created right now, in your habits, your decisions, and your daily discipline. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where you'll take another step toward your next financial level.